Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Wacky and Weird Wednesday, my favorite day of the week, because I get to learn about all the weird and wacky things us humans are doing here on planet Earth, and sometimes even some little slugs are getting into the trouble out there. Isn't our world just unpredictable and just so weird? This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before it started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to read live on stream. So, let's get into our wacky and weird headlines. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday, court lifts sentence on a South Korean woman who bit off an attacker's tongue. Why'd she even be sentenced in the first place?
She was attacked. Okay, in the United States, happy Weird Wednesday. We have a story. Something other than geological process or humans created caves in Brazil. Plus, we're going to talk about a 500-pound bomb that was found in Slovenia's capital from World War II.
Suspected prankster ringing doorbells late at night was a slug. And everyone seems to agree, spitting on somebody else is just wrong. But it keeps on happening.
Keeps on happening. Other mollusk news. Well, it's not a mollusk. Fishing news. A new species of snailfish is discovered 3,000 meters below the sea, and it's adorable. And archaeologists uncover numerous ancient burial mounds in Kazakhstan.
And in my culture news, worrying sign. System of a Down announces their return to Europe after a 9-year absence.
National Swap Ideas Day. So if you got a really bad idea, swap it with somebody with a good idea. That's a good plan. Just convince them it's a good idea. Just gotta convince them, right? This is how you con people. For September 10th, 2025, on Before Coffee.
I've got a great idea for you. You give me all your money, and I take all your money.
It's Bill O'Reilly's birthday today, so fuck it, we're going live.
We're going live. Oh, wait a minute, we are live. We've been live.
Wait a minute.
Unfortunately for all our watchers, we've been live. I don't have any papers.
Hey, we're going live. There we go. There's Bill O'Reilly. It's my favorite. I absolutely hate Bill O'Reilly, but that's still
despicable human being, but that's hilarious. Right. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Maybe we'll play that. We got to play that, right? We got to play that.
For
our mic drop. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Speaking of going live, let's go live with this segue wheel so we know what we're talking about here.
All right. Going live. Let me write down what you're going to be talking about, too.
The reason I think System of a Down going live or is touring again is worrying is because of the classic joke that's been happening for a year now, which is we're in inflation, and so now the inflation music is returning. So I know System of a Down was technically more popular before the inflation
really hit. What's my spin?
But
I'm sorry, what was my spin?
Your spin is haiku.
Haiku, okay.
I didn't tell you what it was yet because I was replying to Bronca's question. But let's go into my first story, which is about our lovely... is it lovely? I don't know if it's lovely. Into a terrible thing that happened in South Korea, and the woman who was sentenced in 1965 has finally gotten her conviction stripped and said, hey, that was kind of messed up that we convicted you for defending yourself. This is on Al Jazeera. A South Korean court has acquitted a woman previously convicted for defending herself against an act of sexual violence 6 decades ago, as old as Roger here. Busan's district court overturned a previous ruling today on the 10th of September, saying Choi Mal-ja's actions constitute justifiable self-defense under South Korean law. Choi's actions at the time are now deemed an attempt to escape an unjust infringement of her body integrity and sexual self-determination, the court said in a statement. Why this wasn't the case in the 1960s? Well, you had to be in Korea in the 1960s. It wasn't a great time. It wasn't a great time. I wonder why their birth rate went down, guys. It's a mystery. Arresting women and putting them in jail for defending themselves. Choi was 19 at the time of the
man.
incident, was attacked by a 21-year-old man in the southern town of Imhei, 1964. The man pinned her to the ground and repeatedly forced his tongue into her mouth, at one point blocking her nose to stop her from breathing, according to records. So you know what you can do with that? Well, she managed to break free by biting off about 1.5 centimeters or about 0.6 inches of his tongue. Keep putting that shit in my mouth and I'm gonna bite it off. In one of the South Korea's most contentious rulings on sexual violence, the aggressor received only 6 months in prison. Still a problem now in the US. I've seen plenty of that. Suspended for 2 years for trespassing and intimidation, but not for attempted rape. Oh, so he kissed ya! What are you complaining about? You should be happy any man touches you. But Choi, now 79, was convicted of causing grievous bodily harm and a 10-month prison sentence. Years. Her sentence was longer than his. 10 months for biting off a bit of his tongue, a tiny little bit of his tongue. Oh no, now he can't taste sour things because the sour bit of his tongue was bitten off. Boo-hoo. Wearing a bright pink blazer, Choi beamed as supporters handed her multiple bouquets after the new ruling. At least she's still alive. Oh God, I'd be even more pissed. It's like she died 3 years ago, unfortunately, before the sentence was acquitted. Women's rights activists and their supporters celebrated, many visibly emotional, waving a placard that read, Choi Mal did it! Choi Mal Ja did it! 61 years ago, in a situation where I could understand nothing, the victim became the perpetrator and my fate was sealed as a criminal, Choi said in a news conference following the... For the victims who shared the same fate as mine, I wanted to be a source of hope for them, she said. Korea's Women's Hotline, KWH, one of the groups that supported Choi during the trial, said the verdict will pave the way for other victims of sexual violence seeking justice. Going forward, women's defensive acts will be understood as legitimate. I expect this will mean fewer women will face unjust suffering, says Song Ra-hee, head of the KWH. Reminds me of that one woman in, I think it was, I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was in South America or it was in North America. It was in America somewhere, and she was trafficked. She was being prostituted. She was being pimped out, and she killed one of her pimps to escape. And she
killed the guy who was keeping her.
Yeah, and she went to jail for murder. No.
I'm pretty sure she was acquitted though.
I think she was later acquitted, but it took a lot of people, hey, what the fuck?
Killing people's.
A lot of people had to protest on her behalf because it's like, but it's for me the problem here, or the wackiness of it, is like that's not your first thought. Is like, oh, she defended herself. No. She caused bodily harm to a man's tongue, put her in jail. Hello?
Hey, let's do it. Let's get it. She can't be doing that.
No, don't.
I bet you that
just
guy.
Take it and shut up.
He learned his lesson. He won't try that shit again. That's for damn sure.
Not. Well, yeah. I really do hope he learned. Chloe's appeal gained momentum after the Me Too movement, which took off globally in 2017, inspired her to seek justice. In South Korea, huge women's rights protests have led to victories on issues ranging from abortion access to tougher penalties for spy cam crimes. Choi filed for retrial in 2020, but lower courts initially rejected her petition. After years of campaigning and appeal, South Korea's top court finally ordered a retrial in 2024. Her lawyers said they now plan to seek compensation from the state for the damages she suffered for convictions decades ago. Remember that there's in a lot of cases, Omlin says, you might say he lost a taste for it. That's a good one, Omlin. Do the soundboard for her whenever you can. That was a good one.
Okay.
Her lawyers say they now plan to seek compensation for the damage she suffered from her conviction 6 decades ago. Reminder that she was in prison for there you go. Good one. It's funny because it's true. Thank you. You're also the new winner, Alwyn. Thank you.
Reminds me of the song.
Winner of the day. Reminded that she was in prison for 10 months, which means that she couldn't. She lost her job. Maybe people wouldn't hire her because she was convicted of doing a crime. There's many reasons why she could have faced prejudice that ruined her life for a period of time, and now she deserves some compensation from the government who has admitted their mistake. South Korea has seen at least 2 other cases of women biting off the tongues of sexual assailants. One Andong in 1988 and another in Busan in 2020. In both instances, courts ruled actions were legitimate acts of self-defense, and the women were acquitted. They probably used both those cases as a stance, right? Hey, 2 other women did this and they were acquitted. Why is this woman from 1964 still guilty of her crime? But there's my drawn-out story about the wackiness of law.
Right. Okay, my haiku. Hold on a second, let me close a window. My haiku. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. What are you in prison for? Huh? Cat got your tongue? There's my
haiku.
Haiku. In the form of a question from the cellmate of the guy.
Huh? Cat got your tongue? That was pretty good.
I know, right? We strive for humor in the face of disaster at every turn. All right, let's do our
next segue. It's really fun pressing all the buttons. Segue time.
We're gonna do you gotta. Well, let's do the bomb story first. Let's do our CBSNews.com has a story. Don't need my glasses because the letters are really big. CBSNews.com is a story of 500-pound World War II bomb found in Slovakia's capital, triggering evacuations. That's 4.5. It doesn't say who wrote the story. Maybe it's somewhere buried in the text. But there's a picture of cops. The discovery of World War II bomb in Slovakia's capital during construction work prompted evacuations on Tuesdays, officials said. The emergency measure covered several blocks in downtown Bratislava. If you were wondering what the capital of Slovakia was, it's Bratislava. Including a major bridge across the Danube River. Public transportation, all traffic were halted during the morning rush hour. Nice to know the Danube goes through Slovakia. That'd be cool. Take a river tour. Experts were planning to defuse the 500-pound bomb, which was discovered on Monday evening by midday. An oil refinery located in the area was a target of an Allied bombardment during the war. Several tons of bombs were dropped on the site of the former Apollo refinery in June and September of 1944, the Slovak Spectator reported. So it's one of them bombs, is what we're guessing. Big old 500-pound bomb. You can't just move it. After the raids, the entire complex was buried. The original wartime terrain is still here, and construction work is now uncovering it. The head of the bomb disposal unit, Jan Ferrer, said in 2021 when another bomb was found, the outlet reported. Slovakia was a Nazi puppet state during World War II. Bombs from the war have triggered evacuations and emergency measures around the globe in recent months. In August, large parts of Dresden, Germany were evacuated. Oh boy, Dresden really got bombed. Yeah, you know that.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So experts could defuse an unexploded World War bomb found during a clearance work for a collapsed bridge. Oh yeah, these are 80 years old, my friends. 80-year-old bombs are not very stable. They can just cook off at any time, just so you know that. Maybe there's not dangerous anymore. Maybe it's not a bomb anymore, but hell, you got to get that. You got to clear out the people just in case. In June, over 20,000 people were evacuated from Cologne after 3 unexploded U.S. bombs from the war were found. City authorities said the discovered unexploded ordnances were 2 American 20-ton bombs and 1 American 10-ton bomb, each with impact fuses. In March, a World War II bomb was found near the tracks of Paris's Gare du Nord station. Near the tracks, holy shit. A train vibrating could have set that off. Wow. In February, more than 170 bombs were found near a children's playground in northern England. Only 170. So, yeah, again, the war's over. Doesn't mean finding bombs isn't over. Where's your segue? So we click onto another story.
I've got a perfect joke for this.
Okay.
2 Italian guys, Dino and Marcello, go fishing on a boat. Suddenly, Dino spots an old World War II bomb floating towards them. Dino screams, "Marcello, look, it's mine!" Marcello, scared, replies, Okay, Dino, you can have it. I had to get the accent out for that one. It's mine.
Hey, it's mine. You got to give them names like Guido and Mario too, right? To make it all.
Well, it was Dino
culturally-
and Marcelo, but yeah.
Oh, okay, it's a French guy. All right. Oh, okay. It sounded like French names. All right, next story. Not French names, Italian names. Something other than geological processes or humans created these caves, says the headline from IFL Science, Life Science, whatever it is. James Felton has the story. IFLscience.com. This is in Brazil. And we're going to scroll past several pictures of the same guy for some reason. James is a published author. Good for him. James, what was his name again? James Felton. Yeah, I've heard his name before. James Felton. Let's get down to the actual story. Around the turn of the century, a number of huge tunnels were discovered in South America. After investigation, the scientists who discovered them found they are not made by any humans nor geological process. They mean turn of the century, they mean 2000. Professor of geology, Heinrich Frank, spotted the strange hole embedded in a hill on a construction site as he passed it on the highway. Construction sites are always discovering this stuff. According to Discover, Frank returned to the tunnel, which had been uncovered during excavation, and crawled inside. The tunnel was 4.5 meters or 15 feet long. Frank could tell that the tunnel was not made by geological forces, but nothing beyond that. At the end of the tunnel was a much bigger clue that you probably still don't want to find in a tunnel you just voluntarily crawled into, a collection of giant claw marks on the ceiling. There is no geological process in the world that produces long tunnels with circular elliptical cross-section which branch and rise and fall with claw marks on the walls, Frank told Discover, adding he's seen dozens of caves that have inorganic origins, and in these cases it's very clear that the digging animals had no role in their creation. The tunnel, along with many other tunnels he and others discovered in Brazil and Argentina, are thought to be made by extinct megafauna. In Frank's case, it was likely giant sloths that made the tunnels. 8 to 10,000 years ago. These creatures are not like any sloths today, with the primary difference between they were the size of an African elephant. Big old sloths. They're just big as an elephant. Holy crap. And there's a whole bunch of pictures. In Rio Grande do Sul area, Frank and his team found over 1,500 tunnels made by the beasts, with the longest stretching for 609 meters or 2,000 feet and standing 1.8 meters or 6 feet tall. It was likely carved out by a team of sloths over several generations. Despite their size, there's evidence that humans may have hunted giant sloths. 200 fossilized footprints of sloths and humans found in Utah were analyzed by a team in 2018 study, finding them to be evidence that humans actively stalked or harassed sloths, if not hunted them. A giant sloth would scare the shit out of me. If it was as big as an elephant, I mean, geez, man. Yeah.
But don't worry, you can run away pretty quickly.
Yeah, sloths are like, I don't really feel like chasing him. It is possible that the behavior is playful, but human interactions with sloths are probably better interpreted in the context of stalking and or hunting, the paleontologist wrote. Sloths would have been formidable prey. Their strong arms and sharp claws gave them a lethal reach and clear advantage in close quarter encounters. But we invented spears, and the sloths didn't, so there you go. We got spears, you ain't got them. There's your story about ancient caves with ancient giant creatures carving. Let's have a yoke about that one.
All right. These aren't big creatures, but they do carve tunnels. 3 moles were shuffling down a tunnel when the first one says, I smell honey. The second one twitches his nose and says, I'm not sure. It smells more like sugar to me. The third mole wrinkles his nose and says, Nope, it's definitely molasses.
I missed it. I guess. Molasses. You have a pun in there.
Molasses.
Right. It took me a second.
He's the last one in the line. Maybe I needed to draw a picture for you. Omlin got it instantly. Omlin got it instantly.
I'm slow. I have a 1 second and 30-year delay on the brain. So.
All right.
Next story. Our next spin. Next
segue.
spin. See what I gotta do.
Where is the button? There it is. It's mixed metaphor.
Okay, mixing the metaphors.
I have two stories here. This one's really short, I think. And it's about a little prankster in Germany who wasn't a human being at all. This is by Ben Hooper on UPI. Police in Germany were called to an apartment building on a report of someone repeatedly ringing doorbells late at night. Discovered ding-dong ditch culprit was a slug. Residents of the building in Schwabach, Bavaria, called the police when their doorbells were repeatedly being triggered late at night, expecting local youths to be behind the prank. The residents said they were especially uneasy because whoever was ringing the doorbells was not triggering the motion sensor cameras outside the front door. It's a ghost! Police arrived and discovered the alleged prankster was in fact a slug, crawling across a panel, triggering several doorbells in the process. There was a little slug sitting right on our nameplate. You could see its slime trail as it crawled across the sensors, resident Dominique newspaper billed. Officers relocated the slug to a nearby grassy area and released it with a warning. You better watch it. I'm gonna have to put you in slug jail. 1 dose of salt. Get it? Is assault?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, because it actually kills them.
I hope you have a metaphor for that, because it was a very short story already.
Okay. Well, that was like a... that was like a fugitive from justice moving at a snail's pace. There you go. There's your mixed metaphor.
All right, my next longer story. I had to talk about the slug things. I saw that. It's about spitting. Right. There's been some drama in the sports land, which I don't pay attention to, so I didn't know this happened. But this is by Tim Reynolds on AP. Inter Miami's Luis Suarez further damaged his reputation. Jalen Carter of the Philadelphia Eagles cost himself the chance of playing the season's opening game. Florida's Brendan Bett gave South Florida a 15-yard gift on its drive that decided to win over the Gators. Their transgression? Spitting. That's right, in this wacky and weird story, people keep self-sabotaging themselves by doing something they know is considered an insult and rude. A span of 7 days from last Sunday, I guess, August Sunday?
3 days ago.
I think, September 7th. In the span of 7 days from last Sunday, they said. So since 7 days.
It would have been August 31st, I guess.
Since August 31st, there were, until this Saturday, so there were 3 high-profile spitting incidents in sports. They were immediately condemned, including by those close to the offending parties, such as the Florida coach, who called such behavior as unacceptable. Reviled responses show there are limits to allowable aggressions, even in the most heated competitions. There are a lot of written and unwritten rules about how you interact with others. Dr. Peter Valentine, the chair of the Forensic Science Department of the University of New Haven in Connecticut. Glad we had to ask a scientist about this. And in the sports world, you can have 2 opponents vie for supremacy. They go at each other very, very aggressively, but it's done with a measure of respect. The idea of spitting on your opponent communicates disrespect. I would be shocked if that's what the intent of the act. Just demonstrate disdain for your opponent. Suarez, who has been previously sanctioned at times in his career for biting opponents, spit on a member of Seattle's Sounder staff after Inter Miami's 3-0 loss there in the League's Cup final. Carter spit, or spit back, depending on perspective, at Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott before the first play from scrimmage in the first NFL game of the regular season, last Thursday night.
It was a spit-off.
Is a spit-off. Thursday would, of course, have been the 4th of September.
Instead of a kickoff, they had a spit-off.
Player, and those 15-yard penalties helped the Bulls get a chip shot field goal to win at 18-16 on the final play of the game. Florida coach Bill Napier called Brett's action unacceptable. On Monday, what was Monday? The 8th of September, Bet posted a public apology on Instagram and told the South Florida player Cole Skinner that there is no excuse for my actions. Bet will face some internal disciplinary action, but not Pierre. Now, probably it's Napier, right? Because we're not saying it in French. Napier did not say if he will be suspended for this week's game at number 3. He made a decision. He made a mistake and he compromised the team. Napier said on Monday. He made a selfish decision. He misrepresented our fans, our alumni, the university. When a young man comes into your office, that is his immediate concern, how he didn't represent the place the right way. I think that's a good indication of his attitude towards it. Around the NFL this week, the reactions to spitting were clear. That's not professional, Arizona offensive lineman Paris Johnson said. You can't do that, said Green Bay defensive lineman Rashawn Gary. You don't want to see anyone getting spit on, Tennessee offensive lineman Lloyd Cushenberry III said.
Yeah.
Torres got a 6-game suspension from future League Cup matches and will miss the next 3 major soccer matches for his team as well. Oh, he's also in soccer. Got suspended from soccer.
There's a league with some balls. Yeah, there's a league with some balls.
Which will hurt the playoff push for Lionel Messi and his squad. Carter got kicked out of the Eagles-Cowboys game, with Philadelphia coach Nick Sirianni saying Monday that any possible team discipline levied against him would remain private, and Bet was ejected from what became the final 7 plays of the Florida-South Florida game. It was a mistake that happened on my side, Carter said. Just won't happen again. Replays later revealed that Prescott
the Eagles penalty would be worse if they lost the game. If they lost the game, they'd be suspending his ass.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Replays later revealed that Prescott spit first, but only in the general direction of the Eagles' defense and not at an opposing player. Carter, in response, did a direct spit on Prescott.
Yeah, that's not
drama.
You can spit anytime you want. Yeah, spit on the ground, nothing. That's not a penalty. That's nothing. It's not a taunt. It's not anything.
I guess I needed to spit, Prescott said. I wasn't going to spit on my lineman. I just spit ahead, and I don't wish for anybody to get out of the game. I'm sure he probably regrets that to some extent. I'm pretty sure he knows how I didn't try to spit on him or wasn't even aiming to spit on him. I mean, Prescott is the one who had to wipe spit off of himself, so, ugh.
Yeah, he had to go grab a towel from the towel boy because who knows what kind of pathogens are in. It's still, he could have COVID from, he could have, who knows what he could have, some contagious disease. You don't want that on your face or on your neck. Yeah.
Players around the league could easily see how that sort of back and forth is going to escalate quickly. They got to fight me at that point, spitting on another player. Tennessee Titans tight end Shig Okonkwo said. You spit at his feet, I guess just like talking, but spitting on another player like that is unacceptable. Saliva is critical for its role in promulgating digestion. Oh great, make sure we have the scientific spin on this story. Assisting with dental health, curing antibodies, and more. Public health officials, in lessons that were hammered home during the pandemic in 2020, also point out that saliva can carry and transmit disease, everything from cold flu to Epstein-Barr virus, strep, some types of hepatitis, and even herpes. And also, well, it's icky. In the way spitting occurred in and after the 3 games this past week, it was simply considered degrading. And there are a few things that seem to trigger stronger reactions in sports than when someone intentionally spits on another person. It's just a new level of disrespect, not only for your opponent, but for the game itself, Valentine said. I understand that the way that people behave around each other is very culturally significant. And you can imagine the culture in the league. The unwritten rules are important. And spitting has never been a part of the culture. I am certain of that. And also, it's part of most cultures. I think there's not a... If anyone knows of a culture in which spitting is not seen as rude, let me know, because I think all humans agree. Spitting in the general direction of someone, spitting near someone, is considered gross, disgusting, and rude. Just like, Yeah,
lower yourself to that level.
Get a freaking handkerchief, man. I don't know what to say. Give me a metaphor.
Oh, spitting is like a French kiss without the danger of getting your tongue bitten off.
Hey! Call back!
Hey! I need some applause for that.
Everyone wants to spit until their tongues get cut off or something.
Then there's the old metaphor. I got an accurate metaphor. which is when you roll around in the mud with a pig, nobody knows who won the fight because you both look they're both full of mud when you're done. That's your anyway, it's kind of a metaphor. Next story. He bit my tongue off. At least I didn't spit on you. You ain't got a point there.
Worst thing ever. Next segue.
All right. We're going to talk about other aminals in archaeology.
It is
we're going to talk
hypothetical.
Hypothetical. Our first story is a short one. It's from azernews.az, which I believe might be a Kazakhstan website.
Azerbaijan?
Azerbaijan, maybe. But this story is highlighted. Okay. Highlighted, is in Kazakhstan, and the writer is Alimat Ayayeva. A unique archaeological site has been discovered in Kazakhstan's West Kazakhstan region, featuring approximately 150 burial mounds, monuments dating back to ancient times. The find is considered one of the most significant in recent years and could offer new insights into the region's early civilizations, Azer News reports. Azerbaijani news, I am guessing, and you guessed already. One of the burial mounds stands out due to its impressive scale. The width of its surrounding moat reaches 140 meters, according to archaeologists, suggests that this individual of high social and political status may have been buried there, possibly a tribal leader of noble figure. Preliminary analysis indicates that the site dates back to the early Iron Age. What makes this site even more intriguing is the diversity in the shapes of the burial mounds. While circular mounds are common in many cultures, this site also features rectangular ones and some that are formed by two interconnecting rings, a rare configuration in Eurasian steppe archaeology. Experts note that such complex burial designs are of great importance for understanding ancient funerary practices, social structures, and migration patterns in the region. Artifacts, if discovered in intact burial chambers, may further shed light on the belief systems, trade networks, and craftsmanship of ancient nomadic creatures that once inhabited the Kazakh steppes. These are the steppes, the Asian steppes, these vast, basically you can call them flat, treeless places. Kazakhstan, not necessarily flat, but treeless. Kazakhstan is home to a rich agricultural heritage, often overlooked in mainstream narratives. The steppe lands were once part of a vast trade routes and served as a cradle of many nomadic civilizations, including early Scythians and Saka tribes. Why were they nomadic? Probably because they were following herds of animals for food and shelter and clothing. Discoveries like this contribute to a growing body of evidence that Central Asia was not a peripheral zone, but a dynamic cultural crossroads connecting East and West, long before the Silk Road flourished. I would guess it would be. Any place humans were, they had to eat, and they had to trade, probably, with other tribes that had stuff that they wanted. Further excavation work is expected to begin soon, with international researchers expressing interest in collaborating on the project. If preserved and studied properly, this site could become a major landmark in the archaeology of the Eurasian steppe. Steppe, spelled S-T-E-P-P-E, for those of you who are not familiar with that geographical term. There's your story on the burial mounds.
Well, let's hope there aren't any ancient people ghosts there, you know. That'll activate a curse upon the land from the ancient burial mounds. We don't want that, no.
Maybe it was ancient aliens like that show on the Discovery Channel. Is always, it had to be aliens, couldn't be humans. Why couldn't it be humans? We build stuff now.
Humans were only smart now. They were never smart before.
And only in our culture were they smart, not that silly culture of those funny-looking people.
Is that your only story?
Yeah, another story. We have another story. Spoil your fun with more stories. This is a new species of snailfish. Not a slug or a snail, but a fish. This is from IFL Science
eat
again.
Snails, probably.
Right, Rachael, Raquiel. It might be Rachel, or Raquiel, I'm going to go with. Fonel. Could be Rachel, could be Raquel, because it's Rachael. In 2019, scientists spotted something strange thousands of meters below the ocean surface. There, they filmed a pink, bumpy blob with cartoonishly big eyes and more pectoral fin rays than you could shake a stick at. You ever try shaking sticks at pectoral fin rays? It's not much fun. But now, they've been able to confirm that this was a new to science species. It's a snailfish, and better yet, is one of the 3 new to science species described in a new study. There are over 400 species of snailfish across the globe, some of which are the deepest dwelling fish known to science. Now we have 3 more to add to the roster: the bumpy snailfish, or the Chiropractus caliculi, which is pinkish in color. Meanwhile, the other new species, the dark snailfish, or CIA, and the sleek snailfish, otherwise known as the Paraliparis M, are both black. So one is pink, 2 are black. The fact that 2 undescribed species of snailfish were collected from the same place on the same dive at one of the better studied parts of the deep sea in the world highlights how much we still have to learn about our planet. 2 of these are black snailfishes collected at the same dive by submersible Alvin, said in this study lead and associate professor of biology Mackenzie Geringer from SUNY Genesco to IFL Science. As I looked more closely at the specimens, I was very surprised at how different these 2 individuals were. They were not an adult and a juvenile of the same species. They are very different, both metaphorologically and genetically. These 2 species were discovered at Station M, an incredibly valuable research site with decades of exploration and time series data. The fact that these 2 undescribed species of snailfishes were collected from the same place on the same dive at one of the better studied parts of the deep sea in the world highlights how much we still have to learn about our planet, he said in a longer statement. All 3 snailfish were found thousands of meters below the ocean surface, which is where humans can't go without decompressing as they come up. But thankfully, through the photos and videos, the team of scientists working at the Monterey Bay Research Institute and Aquarium, or the MBARI, has brought them to the surface for all of us to enjoy. And they're going, yay, we can enjoy them, I guess. As you can see, the bumpy snailfish is remarkably adorable.
What, do they taste them too? What do you mean enjoy them? Like, what do we do?
Yummy. This is really delicious. Let's have some sushi. As you can see, the bumpy snailfish is remarkably adorable as a deep sea creature, though looking very different from a dark and sleek snailfish. It might seem odd to have such a drastically different colorations among the snailfish living in the same region, but when you're this far from the surface, color doesn't count for much. At these dips, there's no sunlight, so color becomes less important for hiding. Right, because you can't see shit anyway. These snailfishes are likely sensing one another and their environment using other means, particularly by picking up vibrations in the water and by smelling and tasting their surroundings. Many fishes can actually taste with their fin rays. It's likely that these species are using their dexterous pectoral fins to sense. Although there is no sunlight at these depths, there are some flashes of light. What's that?
They've got those pecs. The pectorals.
I got the pecs working. I've been working on their pecs. You don't even lift, do you, bro? Anyway, many fishes can actually taste with fin rays. Although there is no sunlight at these depths, there are some flashes of light from bioluminescence. We don't know if or how much of these species are using vision. This would be a great area for future research. And let's go to, speaking of fin rays, the bumpy snailfish are particularly impressive. Across this body, it has 22. And we were curious to know what so many fin rays could actually do. It turns out they come with many beliefs. I'm sorry, they don't have religion. Benefits, not beliefs. My eyes are going crazy. The beautiful video from MBIRE's remote operated vehicle shows how actively and gracefully this fish is controlling these pectoral fin rays, said Geringer. These rays are very important for swimming, particularly for turning, but also play a role in how the fish senses the surrounding environment. Snailfishes belong to the family of Lepidridae, and they can inhabit drastically different habitats. Some live in shallow tidal pools, others lurk at the deepest depths of the ocean, but they tend to share fairly similar body plan consisting of a big head and a jelly-like body. Some hitchhike on larger animals using suction pads in their bellies, while others cling to rocks and curl up like a snail. We often think of deep sea environment. We often think of deep sea environments as being harsh and extreme because of how different the pressures, temperatures, light, and other conditions are from what we experience. But for many organisms, the deep sea, the living space on our planet, is home. To me, finding species that seem so fragile, thriving in these habitats highlights the beauty of deep sea and our responsibility to understand and protect these incredible ecosystems. There's a great story on the new fish. And hey, we don't know what's under the sea. Let's protect it. Let's not kill it out of hand without even learning about it. There could be something undersea that cures cancer, for all we know.
Yeah, maybe that's a great hypothetical. This snailfish probably has snail goo, and it has great healing properties, and maybe it can disperse the dead from that cursed burial mound.
Exactly.
The Earth gives us all of the stuff we need, for all the equations in life. Okay, so you just need to mix them together.
Yeah, undersea creatures live hundreds of years. There's sharks that are near 1,000 years old. Whale sharks are 1,000 years old. That's freaking crazy. That's crazy, right? 1,000 years. You know.
Turtles, of course. Oh.
Yeah. 200-year-old turtles, 200 or 300 years. There's shit under the water we don't know about. Okay, so researching.
There we go. For my next segue in our culture news.
All right, next segue.
It is, I think, associate.
Associate. Okay, got it.
It's like a non sequitur, but actually related. And it's called Culture News. We're going to talk about one of my favorite early 2000s bands, a lot of people's favorite band, System of a Down. And why is this wacky and weird news? Well, it's wacky because I honestly thought they would never be a group again. I thought, Serge shouldn't go on his thing, and the rest of the band and different members were going to go on their own thing. And it was like, those were good times, but I said earlier it's worrying because I think it's an indicator of something. A rise of fascism, perhaps, in the U.S. government being cronies, like back in the 2000s. But also maybe an indicator of, hey, there's a global genocide. System of a Down's here to tell you about it. Because that's originally, of course, why the band was made. Serge wanted to have a vehicle in which to share the existence of the Armenian genocide. But let's go into the story because I think they're probably going to tell us all this stuff in the story. This is by David Morquant on Your News Culture. Heavy metal fans rejoice! System of a Down are coming back to Europe after nearly a decade away, and they're not hitting the stadiums on their lonesome.
Heavy metal?
Whatever.
I don't know.
David is kind of a generic. David Morquant's opinions on culture are very generic, so you give him some. Celebrated Armenian American rockers, System of a Down, have announced a UK and European stadium tour, marking the first time they will play in Europe after nearly a decade away. I just said I'm in debt and I don't have any money, but this is a great thing for me to just blow all my money up. So what? At least I'm living life. I went to a System of a Down concert. Can you say the same?
Do a live remote. Remote from this.
Monetize it.
Hey,
The band has announced that they will hit major stadiums around Europe next summer, including Paris' Stade de France, Milan's Ippodromo Snai La Mura, Berlin's Olympia Stadion, and Warsaw's PGE Narodowy. The last time the band played in Europe was in 2017. Adding to the buzz is the fact that they'll be joined on by tour by none other than the Queens of the Stone Age and a newly reunited Acid Bath.
That's still a band?
Because we are. Acid Bath. I don't think I've ever listened to Acid Bath. Guess I'll have to put that on my list. The scheduled dates are currently 29th of June next year, Sweden, Stockholm, Strawberry Arena. 2nd of July, France, Paris, Stade de France. 6th of July, Italy, Milan, Ippodromo Snai La Maura. 8th of July, Germany, Berlin, Olympia Stadion. 10th of July, Germany, Dusseldorf, Open Air Park, Dusseldorf. 13th of July, UK, London, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And finally, the 18th of July, Poland, Warsaw, PGE Narodowy. Fortunately, if you live in Eastern Europe, you're going to Poland, I guess, or you have to go to the rest of Western Europe. At least they have Sweden. I guess at least the Nordics have Sweden. As usual,
what
Northern.
Happens,
Sorry.
I'm gonna say this right off that a lot of times they announce dates and then they add dates later when they sell out.
This is like
right? So
this is what you would call the pre-sale, right? You go, how many people are actually going to come see us? Oh, we got sold out in 24 hours. Maybe we should open some more dates.
Right.
And with
let's add a tour. Let's add a date and get Gdansk, Poland, or something.
Yeah, or something. Yeah,
right?
they basically they say, hey, look, this is how much money we're bringing in, and then all those other stadiums will go, oh shit, people really want to see these guys. Sign me up. I want a pick of that cash cow. But yes, for now, those are the current dates. I'm sure there'll be more. The tickets will be made available starting the artist pre-sale registration, which is available on the website from the 15th of September. So make sure you wake up, probably stay up Sunday, wait for the time. I don't know at what time and what time they're basing it off of. I don't know. Just refresh that page on the band's website, which I'm sure is just called systemofadown.com or whatever.
Right.
Systemofadown.com. You can join the list, I guess, so they can notify you, and you can get the general sale. Will open up on the 19th. So mark those dates, 15th of September and 19th of September. And if you can afford it, go for it. The announcement follows a series of hints earlier this week as the band's logo was being projected onto buildings in London, Paris, and Berlin, as fans on the band's subreddit documented. And also, Serge just went on to a bunch of stuff. He did a press tour a little earlier to maybe remind people that he exists and talked about the band, so I think that's a good, great way to get people excited. System of a Down released a series of 5 acclaimed albums for their self-titled debut in 1998 to 2005's Hypnotize, so it's been 20 years since their last album release. Oh my god, we're all turning to dust, including arguably their greatest, 2001's Toxicity. They have not released any studio albums since 2005, but did release their first songs in 15 years. 2020 Protect the Land and Genocidal Humanoids, response to the second Nagorno-Karabakh War. Fans said at the time that both tracks speak of a desire, a serious war perpetrated upon our cultural homelands of Artsakh and Armenia. Proceeds from the songs went to our Armenia Fund and humanitarian needs of displaced families from the war. No news on whether the band will record again, but since touring in Europe in 2017, System of a Down have been playing together in the US and were in South America this spring for their Wake Up season. So, woohoo! Rejoice for Europeans who haven't been able to see the band 2017. And I guess sign up on the list. I do wish they would say how much the tickets are going for, but I guess maybe they do show.
They're not playing in Eastern Europe at all? They're not playing in Eastern Europe at all?
Only Poland.
Only Poland. That's weird.
Yeah.
Not in Armenia, for instance, right? They're Armenian.
Well, yeah, maybe Armenia is... Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Controlled by Azerbaijan or whatever.
Maybe they've been banned. They've been banned for some reason. I have no idea.
I was looking them up. They haven't been banned. That was going to be my association. I was like, have they been banned from many countries because of their political stances? But no, it doesn't appear that way.
Oh,
at least
really? Okay.
In my rudimentary searches. So
if you
I
want
did
to
send you a
get tickets
video.
in Stockholm, for example, it's already on you can already click it, and then it's on a 5-day timer, so you can just stay on that page and just keep resetting until it lets you click on, whatever you want, whatever seat you want. It looks, and it is a stadium tour, so there's a whole, what do you call it? There's seats behind and in front of the stage, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what you do with those seats behind the stage. That's weird. Maybe they won't be available and they just show up now. But there's your news. Your culture news. They're coming to Europe.
Yeah, I went to one of their last U.S. shows, which was in 2006. 2006 was their last U.S. show.
Album
and it was
tour.
Part of Ozfest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was part of we were at Ozfest. They were actually the closing headlining act for Ozfest. Right after Disturbed, which was an
interesting probably show, yeah.
And there's another band that everybody heard of before them. I can't think of their name. That was my association, by the way. I was wondering if they were banned from many countries. And we'll do our national on this day in history.
Okay, let's
spin
roll
another
our
wheel. Roll it,
I was
roll it.
on the right computer.
Roll it. Okay. And I did send you a video. I don't know if I told you that, but I didn't find the video.
Woohoo! All right, alliteration headline.
Alliteration headline for this day in history in 1419. John the Fearless, second Duke of Burgundy, was killed during a meeting with the future King Charles VII at Montreux, France. So John the Fearless paid the price for being fearless. Somebody killed him. 1651.
He was never afraid of death, I guess.
He is continually fearless to this day. He's fearless. He's also lifeless. 1651, Japanese rebel Yui Shoshetsu committed suicide, speaking of lifeless, after the failure of his plot against Tokugawa Shogunate. That must be from the term shogun comes from, right? I'm just guessing. 1721, the Second Northern War was concluded by the Peace of Nystad. The Second Northern War, where? In Europe somewhere. 1813, the U.S. Naval Forces under the command of Oliver Hazard Perry, Admiral Perry, defeated the British at the Battle of Lake Erie during the War of 1812. They had a Battle of Lake Erie. Love it, man. I would just love to have been alive for that. Just sitting at the lakeside, watching cannonball flying. That would be just freaking awesome, man. You could just have a picnic at the lakeside. 1846, American inventor Elias Howe was granted a patent for his sewing machine, which revolutionized garment manufacture in factory in the home. 1846, we started making clothes in a mass production rate after that. 1919, Austria and the Allied powers signed the Treaty of Saint-Germain, concluding World War I. So 1919, one of them treaties that ended World War I was signed today. 1934, American professional baseball player Roger Maris was born. He held the record for the most home runs in a season with 61, which he hit in 1961, until it was broken by Mark McGuire. 1955, the TV show Gunsmoke began airing on CBS, and by the time it ended in 1975, which is 20 years later, the series is the longest running Western in American television. It probably still is. There's no real Westerns. Unless you want to call, what's it called? You know, a TV show, Law and Order. That's not a Western, but it kind of has that Western feel to it, right? It's kind of a Western theme. So I think it is. Because in a way, song,
right? What is a Western? You
song,
know?
The theme song is very Western. Very Western. And plus, it's good guy versus the bad guy, which is a Western.
They
1974.
sometimes run down streets and stuff and have a gunfight, I think.
There's always, and there's almost always but there's a trial. They have trials in that show. They don't just kill the guy at the end. Nope, they have a trial at the end.
Of course.
1974. That's totally missed the mark on my metaphor and my comparisons. Sorry about that. 1974. Guinea-Bissau gained independence from Portugal. Good for them. Never heard of them, but good for them. They've been a country for 51 years. 1984, 41 years ago today, Alex Trebek debuted as host of the TV game show Jeopardy! Who is Alex Trebek? That is the question that answers the answer. That questions the answer. Yeah. And Jeopardy, you question the answer. You don't answer the question. It's a unique show. I love it. I can win at Jeopardy if I ever get the chance. I know I could, but the categories will come up. It'll be about shit I don't know anything about, and I'll lose. I know that. 1988 by winning. Yeah. 1988 by winning U.S. Open, Steffi Graf completed the Grand Slam of tennis. She was the first woman to accomplish this feat since Margaret Court in 1970. Steffi Graf married to Andre Agassi and probably got a bunch of tennis-playing children by now. 1993, the TV series The X-Files, starring David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, debuted on Fox, and it developed a huge cult following. I think it just developed. A huge cult following, also known as an audience.
People wanted to
'Cause if
watch
you're
the
a
show.
cult,
Oh my God! Call the presses.
There's no such thing as a huge cult audience, right? It's either a cult audience or it's not. A cult audience is by definition just a small audience. You can't say huge cult. It's called a following. It's called an audience. People found it and it was on the air for 10 years. It wasn't a cult show, okay? On 2000, Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical Cats closed after 7,485 performances. Good luck. It was the longest running show on Broadway. Yeah, I know. It was the longest running show on Broadway until it's surpassed by Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera in 2006. I was just reading an article how Roger Waters sued Andrew Lloyd Webber for stealing Pink Floyd songs for Phantom of the Opera. So I got to listen to that just to hear it now, right? I've never listened to it, but I'm like, yeah, he probably plagiarized the shit out of everybody for his musicals and never got caught because he's Andrew Lloyd Webber, right? He's special.
He never got caught.
No, well, Pink Floyd says, wow, that sure sounds like a Pink Floyd song. And they're like, probably 100% right. I can't write music. Let me plagiarize shit. 2008, the Large Hadron Collider, the world's most powerful particle accelerator, conducted its first test operation, and it didn't explode, so that's a success. Anytime something doesn't explode,
or it did explode, and that's what created our bad reality. That's what turned us down. Yeah, that's right.
2008. Yeah, we're now in this dimension. We can't escape from it. What we call the age
pocket
of stupid.
Dimension, thanks to the collider.
I call it, yeah, thank you very much. We're now in the age of stupid, thanks to you just skipping over that dimension we used to be in, where smart people had, some say, smart people now have been eliminated. They're all just going, what the hell happened? September 10th, our featured event is 1608. We had John Smith chosen as president of Jamestown. John Smith, if that is his real name, famous from the Pocahontas cartoons, having survived capture by the Indians and reputedly through the efforts of Pocahontas' chief's daughter, Chief Powhatan, John Smith became the president of Jamestown Colony. That's right, I made friends with Pocahontas. I'm the king. I'm the king of Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in North America on this day in 1608. Other things today, American golfer Arnold Palmer's birthday is our featured biography. He was born September 10th in 1929, so he would be 96 today. He's born in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, died in Pittsburgh, September 25th of 2016, age 87, traveled the world, but died really close to home. You don't see that very often, right? Our other birthdays today, besides Arnold Palmer, Stephen Jay Gould, American paleontologist, born in 1941, and Billo. It's Billo's birthday. Bill O'Reilly, the subject of our mic drop. American television and radio personality, born in 1949, is turning 76. Yeah, Bill's starting to fade, but he's still good for a laugh. 1963, Randy Johnson, American baseball player, 6'10", nicknamed the Big Unit by everybody because he's 6'10". If you got a guy 6'10" throwing a ball 100 miles an hour at you, you're probably not going to have a lot of success. But Randy Johnson, it's his birthday today. He's turning 62. Happy birthday to him.
Woohoo!
He once exploded a bird with one of his pitches. That's pretty bizarre.
That is scary. That's shocking.
I mean, did it on purpose. He was throwing a pitch on its way to the home plate, and boom, a bird ran right into the path of it, and kaboom, feathers everywhere, and everybody's like, what the hell was that? Yeah, that was pretty bizarre. 1964 is the birthday of Jack Ma, Chinese entrepreneur, and national days is only two things today. It's National Swap Ideas Day, not my idea, somebody else's, and National TV Dinner Day. So that's your days, your pronunciation, your haikus, your bad jokes, your puns, everything. Your weird news for September 10th, 2025 on Before TV Dinner. It's National TV Dinner Day.
There was a time I ate a lot of those, and I didn't think they were that bad. And maybe that's why I don't care about food so much.
Pot pies are excellent. Like, pot pies are the best.
Oh, I mean, pot pies. Honestly, we should get those. I don't know why we haven't had those. Put down the list of possible things to eat at some point.
I'm going to learn how to make them. I'm going to learn how to make them and save money just to have them in the freezer.
Yeah, you could do that. That's true, but we don't have a big freezer here. Anyways, before we get into a tangent here, are there any international days today? There are not. So I'm going to give you my alliterations.
Alliterations. Woo!
Strategic saga solidified his status as the steadfast sovereign. It was about John Smith becoming governor of Jamestown. Fox's Fantastical Phenomenon Files, featuring the fascinating friends, forged a fervent fan base and a fabulous following. X in chat, everyone.
The X-Files. About the X-Files.
Yeah.
All right, on.
Finally, deliciously decadent dishes dominate dangerously during daring dialectics. I was like, I know there's a word for like people talking on TV. A dialectic. There you go.
Dialectic. I had that.
Finally, I can use my master's degree on this goddamn show.
I had dialectic one time the doctor gave me a shot for it. I got rid of it.
Make sure to be vaccinated against dialectic. All right, guys, that has been today's show. I hope you've enjoyed all of our weird and wacky news, of which there's been always abundance of every day because we live in a crazy world. Reminder that this show does not make any money. So if you would like to support the show, you can follow us on the Patreon, which is in chat now as a pinned message. I guess I should also send it on Twitch chat if you want to do that. And then also, if you can't do that, you can also just follow us and subscribe and make sure you share us around. Let everyone know about the show, because I'm pretty sure I just did a test on Monday and none of our videos got any views, which makes me think that our entire channel is shadow banned or something, because the algorithm is not algorithmicing us. We need likes, we need shares, we need you to comment. So if any of that stuff will support us, I greatly appreciate any little bit of effort you can give us to getting this show seen by people's eyeballs. Thank you, because I know a lot of people enjoy watching. Love our father and daughter collaboration here.
Right.
I'm delaying because the video has still not downloaded, so that's why I just keep talking.
Oh, okay. Right.
Anything else you would like to share? And we're gonna have another. I guess Friday song sing-along thing. So.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm at least taking notes. We'll see how it works out.
It'll be an experience for sure. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I think the more we do it, the better we'll get at it. The timing is really the hard part there with the metronome or something.
I just need to practice.
Before the show, do a little...
Probably every day.
We should practice right before the show. Honestly.
That's great. It starts with an earthquake.
The thing is,
it's not afraid. I have a hurricane. Let's need it up there. It's a really fast song.
The thing is, I also didn't practice at all. You're like, you need to say this on the second chorus, and I totally forgot because I never even attempted to do it.
Yeah. It's okay.
All right, our mic drop is ready. So let's get into this mic drop here because we're doing it live.
That's right.
Yeah, tomorrow for Thursday's 13 for our Thursday's 13 list.
Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
I've never seen that. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it. There's no words there to play us out.
He's getting madder.
What does that mean, to play us out?
You can see the steam. The steam is coming.
This guy doesn't know what play us out means.
What is for credits? I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean?
Video.
To end the show? Yeah. All right, go.
His first day on television, apparently, right?
Yeah, right.
It's my first day on television. It's like really unprofessional, but funny.
4, 3. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay.
I'll do it live.
Again, folks, this guy has made millions in broadcasting, and he sucks at his job. Just remember that.
Fucking thing sucks.
This fucking thing sucks. I've never seen somebody go off this bad in my
That's tomorrow,
life.
and that is it for us today.
Oh, it's
I'm Bill
timeless.
O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
No,
Wow,
he's
he's
really happy to
pissed.
be there, isn't he?
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.